But the one thing you only have one more assignment, and that's the final paper. So let's talk about that. Let me look at the instructions. All right, so with the final paper, if you look through, so of course we're not going to meet next week for Thanksgiving. So from tonight, you'll have 2 weeks to complete the paper, you know. And so I put the Dropbox in week 15, which is the last class, and it's our last class together. We don't meet during finals week. Everything should be done by the last class. You shouldn't have anything to do during finals week, but every now and then, you know, somebody gets sick or has an emergency, so we do have finals week just in case. But hopefully everybody will get done everything, and I'll catch up on grades over Thanksgiving break, and then I won't have to cook a turkey. But so let's just talk about the final paper. So in the syllabus, it just gave some basics. So I got to decide what I wanted in the final paper, and I'm basically leaving it as open as possible. So it's follow APA. If you haven't done APA, you know, do your best, give it a shot. There are APA guidelines online for free. You don't have to buy the manual. So the first page is the title page, and the last page is the references, and you don't have to do an abstract. And so that's 2 pages right there, title page and references. And the content, the body of the paper, only has to be 4 to 5 pages. So 4 pages minimum. And you can make it longer if you want, but that's really up to you. So the whole thing, including the title page and the references, is 6 pages. So that's a pretty short final paper. That's not too bad when the content is only like 4 pages. So I gave you some questions that you can focus on when you're writing this paper. And basically, what we'd like you to do is pick one of the main topics that we've discussed. It could be anything from an assessment. It could be ACEs. It could be EMDR treatment. It could be psychological first aid. It could be what we're going to discuss tonight, IFS. You know, any main topic, whether it's a therapy or an assessment, or maybe you want to come up with your own treatment program for treating trauma. Maybe you have a certain population that you want to work with, like people who are suffering from addiction, but have also experienced some type of trauma. So, you know, you can pick I'd just like you to be able to use whatever you're researching. So think about what you want to do after you graduate, what population you might want to work with. It could be an age group. It could be a group like veterans, or could be police officers, or, people working for the fire department. It could be the Red Cross. It could be, children. Could be any group you want, but think about who you'd like to work with. If you're in art therapy, you can focus on art therapy for the paper. So that's kind of the topic. You get to pick your topic as long as it has to do with treating trauma. All right. And what we'd like you to do is I gave you 4 questions and the summary. And so number 1, what topic have you chosen to focus on? And more importantly, why did you choose this topic personally? Is it because you're going to work with this population? Is it because you want to become more familiar with EMDR? Whatever it is, you should have a good reason how you can use this when you graduate. Second question. So that's an easy question. Second question, please provide a more in-depth look at the topic and use 3 research articles from the university library, which is online. So you can just download a journal article from the library. So 3 journal articles that you download from our library. If you get them through our library, you know they're from professional journals. So you don't have to worry about that. And in order to use a journal article, you have to talk about it in your paper. The only thing I would prefer you not to do is don't take like a paragraph long quote from a journal article, 1 or 2 sentences you can quote, but I'd rather you paraphrase and put it in your own words, what you'd like to share from the journal articles, or very short quotes. I've just seen people take half a page and quote it. Don't do that. So yeah, other than that, it could be if you're talking about addiction and trauma, maybe there's a study on that that's fairly recent. This book was published a little while ago, so maybe there's some more recent studies or more recent discoveries or more recent therapies or whatever. So, find 3 journal articles that you feel will contribute to your knowledge and ability to meet the needs of your future clients as a therapist. It's no use getting an article you're not going to use as a counselor. So those are really the only requirements, APA and 3 journal articles and the length. Then question number 3, how would you incorporate this topic into your practice as a future professional counselor? And number 4, what else would you like to share that we haven't asked about? Maybe there's something else you want to add that is not part of those basic questions. And they're fairly basic questions. I wanted to give you as much room and freedom as possible. And then a summary, 1 paragraph summary about what you wrote. So 4 to 5 pages content, not bad at all. But give me some, do you have questions about the paper? There's a Dropbox here under week 15. Just upload the document into the Dropbox. Do it either in a Word document as a file or as a PDF. If you're not using Word, you could save it as a PDF. All right, so that's your last assignment. And hopefully it won't be too stressful. Hopefully it'll be something you'll enjoy doing. You've got plenty of time, 2 weeks. Start early because I know life happens and, so if you wait until 2 days before class and you get sick or have an emergency, it'd be hard to get it done. So start early. It shouldn't take a long time to write 4 pages. All right, any questions? Okay. And the last class, um, I know some people only watch recordings, but if you're on Zoom or in person, maybe you can just take a couple minutes and share with the class what you found out in your paper. You know, it's not a formal presentation. You're just going to say, hey, I discovered a couple articles that I liked. I'm going to use it this way. Just share anything new you found out, just for a minute or two. Nothing formal. You don't have to get up in front of the class or anything. Um, and we'll go over the last chapters in the book and call it a semester. All right.